So I'm a big Star Wars fan and have been since I was a kid, but there was some stuff I had never seen. And lucky for me, Disney Plus put together a collection called the Star Wars Vintage Collection, which already doesn't make sense. Wouldn't the original Star Wars movies also be vintage Star Wars? Calling it the Legends Collection, as that is the official term for non-canon works, would have been a little better. The collection includes the animated segment from the holiday special, the two live-action Ewok movies, the Ewoks animated series, the Droids animated series, and the original Clone Wars series. That last show I did watch as a kid on Cartoon Network, and I will also be looking at the holiday special because I'm no coward. The Star Wars holiday special came about because some variety shows had done Star Wars sketches, and when that happened, ticket sales for the original movie would go up. So it seemed like a good idea to do a Star Wars variety special. Star Wars creator George Lucas came up with the idea of centering the special on a family of Wookiees, but had basically no involvement after that, as he was busy on pre-production for The Empire Strikes Back. Airing on November 17, 1978, the special quickly became infamous for how terrible it is. It never re-aired and never received a home video release, but thanks to people recording the original broadcast, it has circulated in bootlegs and on the internet, so no one can ever forget it. I have never seen the holiday special in full, only clips on YouTube, so let's see it.
Because of the following special program, Wonder Woman and not be presented this evening.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I wouldn't rather be watching that. That's fine. I'm fine. He's fine. The special starts with C-3PO being capitalist scum trying to sell toys before launching into the proper special. The basic framing device is that Chewbacca's family sits around the house watching a bunch of random stuff while they wait for Han Solo and Chewie to show up for Life Day. I was prepared for how weird this special gets, especially in the sketches, but I was not ready for how aggressively dull this is. It is so boring. Witness the magic of Star Wars. Wait, I know how to fix it. 70s TV had a tendency to be a bit sluggish, but I watch Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park on like a yearly basis.
No gratitude need be voiced. Your mind speaks to us.
You're looking for someone, but it's not Kiss.
I can handle bad 70s TV. This is something else. The framing device is insufferable because, as has been pointed out by everyone, there are no subtitles or a translator, which, bold move, Cotton, but it's not exactly fun to watch a bunch of jerks in fursuits growl at each other. The sketches are... I don't even know. The 70s had way too much access to cocaine. The Jefferson Starship song is kind of a bop. Did I use that term right? I'm hip. It is interesting from a world-building point of view. Like, what do people in the Star Wars universe do for entertainment? But I'd much rather watch the weird bubble opera thing from Revenge of the Sith than any of this nonsense. The most entertaining thing about the special is Harrison Ford, who does not want to be there. Every single one of his line deliveries is hilarious. I know it's kind of mean to laugh at someone else's misery, but I can't help it. It's too funny. Overall, are you ready for this hot take? It's really bad. Outside of Ford's performance, it's not even fun in a so bad it's good way. It's insufferable. Next. Caravan of Courage is a 1984 television movie directed by John Cordy, with a screenplay by Bob Caro based on a story by Lucas. For whatever reason, Lucas decided to go all in on the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi, and ABC wanted a television movie of the week, so this happened. The story is about a pair of young siblings, Mace and Sindel. They and their parents crashed on the forest moon of Endor, and the parents were captured by a giant monster called the Gorax. Mace and Sindel team up with the Ewoks, including Wicket, to save the parents. The biggest issue with the movie is the acting. The young pair playing the siblings, Eric Walker and Aubrey Miller, are not great. But they're kids and it's a TV movie. Somehow the actors playing the parents are even worse. A lot of painful acting throughout. For a TV movie, there are some decent effects. Some are cheesy, but again, TV movie. Endor never quite looks like an alien planet. It is very clearly just a forest in California. Overall, the movie is a bland, forgettable kids movie. Doesn't really feel like Star Wars, it's a generic fantasy thing. It's harmless, there's nothing offensively bad about it, but I didn't enjoy watching it. Next.
Somewhere at the end of the galaxy, two friends were about to say goodbye.
What's wrong? Danger.
Of course this thing got a sequel. Ewoks: The Battle for Endor is a 1985 television movie written and directed by Jim and Ken Wheats, based on a story by Lucas. Marauders invade Endor, killing Mace and his parents, leaving Sindel orphaned and alone. Sindel and Wicket escape the Marauders and meet Noah, an old man stranded on the moon. After some bonding, they work together to save Endor. Killing the family was a wild choice. Because it's a TV movie for kids, I kept expecting Mace and his parents to show up again. I was really taken aback when I realized, no, they're really dead. They killed off the main character of the first film in the first 10 minutes of the sequel. Bizarre. Unfortunately, that leaves us with Sindel, whose performance is even worse. She has a lot of dialogue and it's pretty rough. Again, I don't want to be too harsh because she was just a kid. Also, Wicket can speak a bit of English now. Alright. Noah was okay. It was nice to have a decent performance by Wilford Brimley. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't offer much else. The makeup on the bad guys is pretty bad, and the Marauders are generic and obnoxious. TV movie for kids. These two Ewok movies are exactly what you'd expect. Cheap, inoffensive, and boring. Maybe if I had seen them as a kid, I'd have more of a soft spot for them, but I didn't. So I don't like these movies at all. Next. Around the same time as the Ewok movies, Lucasfilm was interested in animation, resulting in two shows, Ewoks and Droids, which aired together as the Ewoks Droids Hour on ABC in 1985. Ewoks focuses on Wicket and his friends and family. They have to deal with the local witch, Morag, and a rival species, the Dulocs. Often the plots focus on Wicket being kind of reckless and causing a problem before cleaning up his own mess and learning a lesson. Unlike Droids, Ewoks actually got a second season which revamped the show. It got a new theme song and the structure changed. Instead of an episode being a 22-minute story, the episodes became two 11-minute stories. Neither theme song is particularly good. The first one is at least memorable, if obnoxious. I literally don't even remember how the second theme song went, and I just watched this show. Even more so than the movies, the Ewoks cartoon is clearly meant for little kids. Watching it as a 26-year-old is obviously not going to be that enjoyable. I had a hard time watching this without falling asleep. The animation is nice, and I probably would have liked it as a kid, but that's kinda it. Next. Droids focuses on the adventures of C-3PO and R2-D2 before the events of the original trilogy. The season is structured in 3 different arcs, each one consisting of 4 to 5 episodes. These arcs see the two droids serving different masters and having an adventure with them. An hour special in 1986 serves as the show's finale, although it takes place before the 3rd and final arc. The theme song is a decent song on its own, but doesn't really work as the theme for this show. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything, just random. I really like the structure of this show. I like that we get to spend a few episodes with each group of characters as opposed to changing characters every episode. The first arc focuses on speed racers Jord Dusat and Thal Jobin, who come into conflict with a family of gangsters. They are joined by rebel soldier Kia Mal. I really enjoyed this first arc. The characters are fun. It's clear that Jord and Kia are meant to resemble Luke and Leia a little, but that familiarity works okay. They're a charming group to follow, and I had a lot of fun watching their story. I wouldn't mind seeing these characters reintroduced into canon proper. And the finale of this first arc features Boba Fett, which was pretty cool. I really like early animated Boba Fett, more so than other versions of the character we've seen, so I really enjoyed those sequences, and his action scenes are a lot of fun. The second arc sees 3PO and R2's soul to Jan Tosh. They discover an alien, Mon Julpa, who turns out to be a prince. Overall, I didn't have as much fun with this story. What does stand out is that the villain is named Kylo Ren, and the design of the stormtroopers for this show very closely resembles the design of the First Order stormtroopers. I guess J.J. Abrams was a fan of this show? The final arc doesn't show or explain how 3PO and R2 came into the service of their latest master, Mongo, and his search for runestones. The show has pretty much completely lost me by this point. I thought this story was very boring, but it does end in a volcano, which is pretty cool. As I said, the show ends in '86 with an hour-long special telling the story of how 3PO and R2 met Mongo, and considering he was my least favorite of the three lead characters, I was not thrilled about that. The three characters are trapped by a machine called the Great Heap, who consumes astromechs for food. And I'll give the special this, it gets a little intense. We have to watch the Great Heap consume all of the life out of an astromech droid. It's brutal. Overall, I like droids just fine. I thought the structure was kind of cool, and I enjoyed seeing these different parts of the galaxy. I got bored of the show by the end, but it's not a show that was meant to be binge-watched. I was mostly pleasantly surprised. Next. In 2003, Cartoon Network started airing The Clone Wars, a microseries developed by Genndy Tartakovsky. The show obviously takes place between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, with the end of the series leading directly into the latter film. The show aired for 3 seasons, but the show was compiled into 2 roughly 2-hour episodes on Disney+. I loved the show as a kid, and I loved revisiting it now. The animation is really great. The style is so cool and engaging. I really love this take on Coruscant with the stark white look. I think that's way more interesting than what we see in the movies. James Arnold Taylor and Matt Lucas do solid impressions of Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, but Lucas's impression is a little too good. Christensen's line deliveries in the movies are infamously not very good, and Lucas sticks very close. So it's an impressive impression, but not super fun to listen to. The highlight of the series is the action, which comprises most of the runtime. It's really crazy and over the top. You get to see Mace Windu fist fight an army of super battle droids. Yoda has a battle horse, love that. There's an underwater battle with Kit Fisto, that was amazing. And of course the highlight of the action, is General Grievous. This was his introduction to the franchise, and I vastly prefer this version to the one we get in the movies. I like this vocal performance a lot more. There's a calm menace to him that really works, and his action scenes are spectacular. The series ends with Grievous kidnapping Palpatine. That whole chase scene is one of my favorite things in Star Wars. It really stuck with me more than anything else from this show. I like the clones in this show a little more. In later shows and video games, the clones never shut up. Like, they're a chatty bunch. But in this one, they're more silent and more effective. I think they're really cool. Overall, this is one of my favorite Star Wars things. It's stylized, fun, and a great spectacle. I don't really have a conclusion. I don't know what the point of this was. I really liked Clone Wars. Droids was a pleasant surprise. Everything else was kind of a dud. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and all of that. Whatever. Support the channel on Patreon. Bye.